the book that I'm working on now is called Policing the Campus, and this is where I'm going to wrap up, is Policing the Campus, and the philosophy that I have is, yes, academic repression is soft, right? That's what I'm thinking. But policing the campus is when you put cameras on every building, and where to get in and out of any building, you have to have an ID, right? And to get on campuses, there's checkposts. And I'm referring to the college campus as a prison state, right? But and how the prison, as I do prison education and Auburn and all these things, there's a lot of similarities in prison education as well as higher education. And it's too bad that it's occurring, because we now can see academic repression and serious policing of education, right? Through syllabus. You know, at UCLA and a variety of other places, there was people paid by David Horowitz and, you know, state and local agencies that were placed in, you know, into classrooms to record classes, to see what these professors are speaking about, right? So now we have undercover investigators in our classrooms. We have cameras. We have IDs, right? Now you can't get financial aid if you've been convicted of a felon, right? So you can't go to school in a variety of ways because it's classist and, you know, racist. If you look at the prison system as a racist institution, which I do, so, you know, and when you just keep on going with the contracts, right? The contracts that now the professors are buying into with the DHS, and now they're doing role plays on public, you know, and they put sirens on the campuses to warn of the next Virginia Tech, right? And the next, you know, Columbine, the next University of Texas. So that's what's going on in higher education. We need to do more of the March Force. The March Force need to be the March 5th, the March 6th, the March 7th. And we need to start protesting every day in defense of education. And why? Because if we don't have education, we don't have a democracy. And we're seeing very much the situation, right? That the least, you know, amount of educated people, you know, the very few people that are able to be educated, then they take powerful roles in our state. And those individuals see that they love power. And they make power that much more difficult to achieve. And the first way of making it difficult is jacking the price up of this education, okay? And that just, you know, creates the class divide. Another way of making this divide is, you know, of creating the prison system where a lot of the people of color are sent, right, at a young age. We know this by statistics looking at the DOCS, Department of Corrections, where at a young age, you know, second grade, first grade, third grade, there's statistics already being examined for how many prisons we have to create 20 years from now. This is the Department of Corrections doing this. So rather than saying, how can we aid in getting more you know, diverse and better teachers in elementary, they you know, think, you know, long term, because it helps the industrial complex, right? The private industrial complex, be it JanSport making bags in the prisons, or furniture, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, that's where I want to wrap up. I do thank you for, you know, allowing me to speak and share how I got this book and why this book is so important. Because if we don't fight for education in the United States, we will have imperialism. And, you know, already people are focusing on the fact that there is an imperialist state. You know, more international than domestic, but it is happening domestically, and we can see it day in and day out. Pinochet, you know, School of Americas. He was quoted by the School of Americas and so many other leaders, right, quote leaders, dictators in South and Central America as, if you control the education and you control the media, you control the people. And that's what's happening here, right? And education is being stripped from us. SUNY schools, State University of New York, was free in the 60s and 70s. Community colleges were free. We're now paying, and we're getting, you know, indebted. And we need to fight back and get that free education. So the last article in this whole book, that's almost 600 pages long, talks about TSI, Transformative Studies Institute, based in New Jersey. And the whole idea, and we have Ward Churchill, and we have you know, Michael Parente, and the list goes on of wonderful radical scholars saying that we need to provide free graduate school. And that's our hope in 3 to 4 years with TSI, is to provide a free graduate program out of New Jersey for, you know, critical, radical thinking. So check out that website, transformativestudies.org. So I will wrap up and take questions or comments on how to resist the academic industrial complex.